of all, I just have to tell you that if you did not enter in my giveaway, I'm doing a giveaway of the self-authoring suite. This is a program that Jordan Peterson and his team have put together, and it helps you figure out your life. Essentially, it helps you write an autobiography, but it has unbelievable benefits to it. They've used it in clinical research, and the results have been overwhelmingly positive. It's an incredible package. I'm actually going through it myself. I'm going through the self-authoring suite right now. I really recommend that you do it, that you try it. You can start by entering the giveaway. I'm gonna give away one access code to the self-authoring suite. There's your past, present, and future self-authoring, and this is for the entire suite. The whole package. The way you will enter is by commenting on the video I made of Jordan Peterson in Slovenia. So the link will be below. You can also find it in the tag. Go to the video, like it, comment, please subscribe, and that will enter you in. You know, tomorrow is Thanksgiving, so I'm doing a Thanksgiveaway. And the Jordan Peterson is part of the giveaway. And the rest of my giveaway will be at the end of this video. I guess I need a cup to drink this coffee. I also woke up to the nicest surprise today, which was Jordan Peterson made a tweet about me and my video that I posted of him, which is just, words do not, like, I was so surprised and so shocked and so happy all at the same time. And it wasn't just he retweeted something, he composed his own tweet about it. So I felt very, very honored, very privileged, very happy. It was an amazing way to start my day. It felt so good. I was so surprised. I was so happy, really. That was very, very exciting. For me, it was incredible. I'm not sure how well this book review is going to go. I'm gonna do my best. The problem is I have 5 books since my last review. Like, why haven't I done a review sooner? Part of the reason I've gone through so many books is because I'm really trying to hit my goal. I didn't do a lot of reading in the beginning of the year, especially because I was doing a daily vlog, which took so much of my time. I had a goal for this year to read at least 20 books, and I am at 15 right now, so I'm really trying to like pour it on before the end of the year. It's practically the end of the year now. I think that's why I kind of went through a lot of books fast, and I've been listening to audiobooks, which has been extremely helpful. It definitely is easier to go through an audiobook than it is a regular book. Most of the books I read were either audiobook or an ebook, so I don't have the physical book. I will link the books below. If I remember, I swear to God, every time I say I'm gonna link something, I post it and then the next day remember I didn't link anything, so I really hope I remember this time. Let's begin with the book Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary V is a social media business internet mogul. I mean, he's inundated in everything that is the internet and social media. If you don't know who he is, I highly recommend you go find him. He's on every platform you can possibly imagine. He's an intense guy. Sometimes I'm just like, I've topped out my Gary V for the day. Like, it's just, he's so intense. He's also super passionate, super funny. He's really great. I listened to Crushing It on audiobook, and already now I'm thinking I need to listen to it again. It helped me feel so motivated to really get stuff done, and kind of gave the how-to. I feel like so many personal development books or self-help books or personal development authors give you great theories, but they never give you that feeling of you know what to do now. After reading or listening to Crushing It, I really felt like I knew what to do. It was just a matter of actually doing it. And that was so different from other books that are in this similar genre. He basically goes through the book telling you how to crush it, which is how to start your business, how to use social media to your advantage, and then he gives you lots of stories of other people who read his book, used the information in it, and how it worked out for them and their success. It's helpful, it's practical, it's useful, it's inspiring, and it's motivating. It's all those things. And after reading that, I was super motivated. I got some things done that I really had been intending to do for a while. Sometimes it's just, it feels overwhelming to have so many things, you know? Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, podcast, a blog, a website, an e-commerce site, like all these things that you feel you need to do to make your brand or business grow, and that becomes really overwhelming. And after listening to his book, I really felt like I can do this, and I felt like excited to do it. Gary V's book, Crushing It, linked below, highly recommend it. I should have, like, let's start Oh, this is good. Let's start our own rating system for books. This is really good. Okay, I gotta think of this now. Now I'm on the spot. I think the highest rating I would give a book would be life-changing, will read it several more times. That's a really high rating to give a book. May or may not read again is very good. May or may not. Good book, will not read again. Then we have very average. I don't know if there's a more creative way to say very average. Never again. Ooh. The lowest rating I could possibly give a book would be didn't finish. That's a good one. Okay, so now we have our rating system. At the top, life-changing, I will read it several more times. That is definitely like the 12 rules for life. That changed my life, and I want to read it many more times. Another book like that would be To Kill a Mockingbird, The Catcher in the Rye, for me. All of those. Life-changing, will read them several more times throughout my life. May or may not read again. Great book. May or may not read again. Let's put great book. Books like that would be, I feel like The Great Gatsby. Like, that's a good book. May or may not read again. It's like you read it in high school and then you read it again in your adult life and you're like, yeah, that was a good book. Probably good. Maybe I'll read it again in 10 or 20 years. Good book, will not read again. Now I have to think of an example for that. What's a good book that I think I won't read again? I'm going through like the library in my mind, like my bookcases from when I was younger. Nancy Drews. Nancy Drews were solid books, good books, really good books, but I won't read them again. I notice I have this feeling of like sadness saying I won't read something again. Like part of me always wants to say, maybe I'll read it again. And then a very average. I like that we're not friends. Very average book or we're not friends. I feel like good books become your friends. The characters in them become your friends. The book becomes like a beloved part of your interior, in your home, in your life. Like, that's what really great books mean to me. When I read a book that's super average, it's like, the characters are not my friends. You're not my friends. I'm not gonna talk to you again. I'm definitely not texting you after this. That's a good rating. So that would be very average. And then never again, which means I will never read this book again. I think for me, Born a Crime was like that. I could give you positive qualities about it, but I will never read that book again. Nothing personal, just will never read that book again. And then didn't finish. I don't know if there's many books out there that I didn't finish because it was so bad. That has to be the ultimate worst. I don't know if I'll ever give a book that rating because personally, I always try to push myself through it anyways, no matter what, because I hate leaving things unfinished like that. So if I'm not gonna finish it, then you know it's horrible. All right. Oh, I'm so excited. This makes me so excited. What a great rating system. So, Crushing It. Where would I rate Crushing It? God, it doesn't seem like the most amazing book that I would want to rate it as life-changing, but I definitely will read it. Oh, now I'm bending the rules. Who cares? It's my own system. So I will definitely read it again. It was extremely helpful for my life. I guess in some ways it was life-changing because it made me take action, which is the ultimate test of something that changes your life, right? That is Crushing It by Gary Vaynerchuk. Please check it out. It's a great book. Especially if you're trying to run a business, especially if you're on social media. So the next book I read was Leonardo Da Vinci by Walter Isaacson. It was a great book. I listened to it on audiobook and it was really, really nice. It was really fascinating. Such a great look into a very important figure in history. One of the things I thought was so sad about the book that I really resonated with, he was such a perfectionist and he would work on his paintings for years and years, perfecting them, and they were never finished because he was never satisfied with them. And the art he did produce was so revolutionary that it is a terrible tragedy that we don't have more works of art from him. And the only reason we're missing that is because he was such a perfectionist that he didn't finish his projects. I really saw myself in that. Productivity is better than perfection, and that is so important. And that is the real tragedy, I think, of Leonardo da Vinci and his works, was that he rarely finished anything because he was continually working on it because it wasn't perfect. It was amazing to think about him and his role, what his life was like, how he traveled, the people he met, the things he did. It was very interesting. I mean, his works are such a gift to humanity. Not just his art, but his notebooks. Another thing from the book that I found invaluable, he wasn't just a genius. And I think we have this tendency to look at people who created great works of art or who did amazing things in life and say that they're a genius, and we kind of separate them from everyone else. It's like there are the geniuses, and then there's us, and I'll never be like that because they're a genius and I'm not. But in this book, what I really appreciate is that the author really goes a long way to describe to you that Leonardo da Vinci was not a genius. He just had a burning sense of curiosity that just drove him throughout his entire life, which I found incredibly inspirational, and I loved that. I found a lot from this book that I really liked. I'm going to rate this book as great book, may or may not read it again. I don't feel the need to read it again. However, I think it would be a pleasant experience to read it again. And the one book that I read that was actually in a book form, A Little History of Philosophy by Nigel Warburton. Now, this was a great book. I talked a lot about this on my Instagram while I was reading it. First of all, it was just so nice to read a book. I picked this up in the airport, and it was just so nice to have an actual book to read. It takes you through history and teaches you about the most important philosophers, what they brought to our thinking, how they perceived the world, and how they maybe changed the world, how they interpreted things, how they changed people's way of thinking, how people opposed them. It's so remarkable to me how everyone who is a great thinker, it's almost like it takes another generation to get their thinking. Like they're one generation ahead of everybody, and people cannot accept that. And once that person dies, it's like the next generation starts to pick up their readings and findings and everything from them, and then it blows their mind. And then the next generation really finds a lot of traction in that. It's interesting how many philosophers who had great thoughts had zero following or were met with a lot of opposition. And then their followers kind of came around after them. If you're interested in philosophy, if you're not interested in philosophy, I think this is a great book because it helps you understand where a lot of our thinking comes from. A lot of political, philosophical, spiritual thinking. A lot of it is in here. It's really easy to read. It's very fun to read because the chapters are super short, 5 to 6 pages maybe. And each chapter is on a different philosopher. It's super interesting, really easy to read. It's basically, if you know nothing about philosophy, it's a great book to pick up because it gives you a very basic introduction to philosophy and to the philosophers. It even explains philosophical terminology that may or may not be familiar to you. Highly recommend this book. I really enjoyed it. I would say good book, will not read again, even though I thought I will read it again. It doesn't feel like a great book because there's no original thoughts to really like move you like, whoa. It's just kind of a history book. Maybe for that it's not the greatest book ever, but it is like a book I will recommend to a lot of people. Ooh, maybe I should make it that. Good book, will recommend. That's better than will not read again, because I don't know. I like to read books again, and even if I don't read the whole book, I like to go back and like fix it. Okay, good book, will recommend. The next book I have on my list was an audiobook as well. It was called The Willpower Instinct. This was a fantastic book. It really helps you understand your willpower. It sounds kind of fluffy and like, I don't know, maybe spiritual when I say it this way. Your willpower, the power inside you. But it's a very psychological book. It really takes you through how our brain works and processes information that either gives us willpower or strips us of our willpower. It talks a lot about how to quit smoking. It talks a lot about the power that cigarettes have over you or that you have over your cigarettes. Things like this, it helps you find ways to shift your thinking to increase your willpower. It talks about things like your willpower and your won't power, which I really liked because I feel like that's something that's not usually explored. I think this book was probably more of a personal development, self-help book, but it didn't feel like one so much because it really included a lot of scientific theory and studies and research. For that, I really liked it. I'm going to rate it good book, will recommend. I think I would listen to it again if I were in a really long car ride, just because I think it's a good thing to be refreshed on, just to learn about the way we think and how to utilize that for our advantage. I think that's important. I would recommend this book highly to anyone who's a smoker, wants to quit, anyone who's trying to do something like that, where you're trying to quit or you're trying to do something to achieve something and you just keep failing and feeling like you're failing all the time. This book will rescue you. It will really help you. So I would definitely recommend this book. And last but not least, the most recent book I just finished is called The Art of Living. I loved this book. This book is based on Stoicism, and I love Stoicism. I think that Stoicism has so many benefits to us in our lives today. I've read other books in Stoicism, and they're maybe a little more difficult to digest. This one was super easy. Really easy and like really inspiring. Reading it for me was it really gave me a boost first thing in the morning. I loved reading this book as my first thing to do in the morning. Like, I got my tea and I read this book, and it really helped empower me for the rest of the day. I felt so good about the rest of the day, which is amazing. Like, that's a great way to start your day. There were so many aha moments while reading this book. This book was basically written by Epictetus, who was the philosopher who was the teacher of Marcus Aurelius. He was exiled when all philosophers were banished at the time. This is basically taken from his teachings, and it's put together in very small and easy pieces to read. I would recommend everybody read this book. If you like reading, if you don't like reading, if you like Stoicism, if you don't like Stoicism, if you like inspiration, you don't like inspiration, I really think that there was a lot in this book that was just so helpful. It's almost like a coffee table book. It kind of reads like that. It's just, I think, a fantastic book with fantastic lessons in it that are short, easy to read, very enjoyable, and really make a meaningful difference. I would say for me this was a great book, and I will probably read it again. I'll at least read parts of it again, for sure. And that was my book review. Tell me, have you read any of those books? Do you recommend I read books? I'm really thinking of ways to make this more interactive. And I feel like a small minority on my channel love it as much as I do. Not everybody enjoys book reviews this much, but I feel there's a little part of us that do love that. And I'm trying to think of ways to make it more interactive. For now, just comment below what books you like, what books you think I should read, that I should review. I think what I'm gonna do from now on is I'm gonna do book reviews on maybe 2 or 3 books at a time and talk longer. I need your advice for 2 things. One is, tell me what books you like that you like me to read and review, if I haven't already. And the second thing is, if you like the videos being kept shorter and you like shorter reviews like this video on more books, or would you prefer a longer video with a more in-depth review? I need to know that, because I think I would enjoy talking about a book for a longer period of time. I kind of feel like the top video length should be 18 to 20 minutes. I could easily take that much time to do a book review on about 3 books. I feel that would give me a chance to look deeper into a book, to assess it, to talk about it in ways that it affected me and kind of think about it. If that's something that you'd like, let me know. Or if you like it short and sweet and as many as possible and keep the videos down to about 10 minutes, let me know. I'm brainstorming with you guys. I appreciate it. Like, I mean, this is a 2-way conversation, really. I could make videos, and if no one watches them, what's the point? And don't forget about my giveaway. So I'm giving away the self-authoring suite, which I really think will be an immense benefit to anyone who wins it. Also, if you're not a winner, I highly recommend you go check it out on selfauthoring.com. Will be linked below. To enter the giveaway, just go to my vlog from the Jordan Peterson event, comment, like the video, subscribe would be nice, thank you. And because it is Thanksgiving week, tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and I want to do Thanksgiveaway. I'm going to be giving away books. First, I'm giving away Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. I think this is an invaluable book that everyone should read. It's life-changing, it's moving, it's something every person on this planet needs to read and know about. It's really, really special. I recommend it to everyone. It's the kind of book where it's like I have to read it over and over again because what's inside it is so special and so important. So I will be giving away one of those. I will also be giving away the book As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. This is a really great book. It helps bring awareness to your thoughts and how your thoughts affect the direction you take your life, the way you have a conversation with yourself, with others. It's a great book, one to read over and over again. I'm going to be giving away those 2 books for Thanksgiving. I'm very excited. So what you need to do to enter is you need to follow me to my Instagram. Go to my Instagram, follow me there. And then on Thanksgiving, I will be doing a giveaway. I will be doing a giveaway post. So look for the post. Make sure that you are following me and that you comment on the post, and you'll be entered to win one of those 2 books. Okay, thank you for joining me on today's video. Thank you for being here for my book review. Thank you for taking part in my giveaways. I really enjoy doing this. Let me know if you think this is something that you like doing as well. Participating in more giveaways. I appreciate the comments. I always go back and read them. If I don't get to all of them, just know that I do go through and read them. So thank you very much for that. If you like this video, please like it. If you like me, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.